You have a desire for traveling, but you always wait after people from your family, from your friends, or even from your partner. You want to go travel, but the big issue, it seems like no one is interested around you, or you don't feel comfortable enough with the people around you to travel with them. But though you really wish to go somewhere with people, not alone because you're freaking out. And I will tell you why you should go there alone and why will be maybe the best idea you will have done in your life. All right, so let me start with my own story. I'm Frank, and it's been like 7 years now that I've been traveling. And I started at 21 and I left my country alone, and I went on the other side of the planet in New Zealand for the first time. And I tell you what, at the time I was really not confident. I was freaking out about that. I just gave myself 100% the bravery of going there, and I didn't really speak very good English. And I just give it a shot because I knew that for me that was what matters the most. I really needed that in my life at the time. It was so important for me to follow my dreams because I noticed that all my life I was avoiding pursuing my dreams for safety, and following that I was deeply unsatisfied with my life. So that's actually maybe the first reason why you should travel alone, maybe to achieve finally a dream and to forget having regrets, later on in your life. Because I think what's worse is thinking that you only have one life and you spend that one life always avoiding your dreams and wasting basically this opportunity of doing what your body, your soul, what's inside you is asking you for doing. So what I've learned from doing this, from going on the other side of the planet in New Zealand and traveling alone, is actually all the fear I had in my mind when I was back in France about, oh my God, but I'm gonna be lost. People doesn't speak my language. It's gonna be so hard for me to find a job. It's gonna be so hard for me to get understood by people. I'm gonna be doomed. Even booking a hotel, even going to the restaurant. How am I gonna feed myself? How am I gonna find a place to sleep? All those crazy thoughts that come in your mind, and somehow it's bullshit, but still they seem so vivid that you are thinking twice or postponing the idea of traveling alone. But the thing is, once you do it, let's say you do it, you're crazy, despite these fears, you decide to go and do it, you realize it's actually not that bad and not that dramatic. You have to understand that even in the 70s and the 80s, people were traveling without even internet and alone, and they survived and they lived their best life. And I say this because I met a lot of those people while traveling, okay? But that was in the 70s. And guess what? You're in 2023 when you're watching this video, or maybe a bit later. And because of internet now, it becomes so simple to travel somewhere. And you don't even need anyone for booking anything, for knowing about the country, the culture. You can very easily find your own research and go there. Going inside the airport, it's impressive the first time. I know it's impressive, but it's far from being difficult. You go to the check-in counter, you take your ticket, then you will go to the gates, you will pass through the police, and then you will arrive in this duty-free area. And normally on your ticket you have your gate, so you look at where is your gate, and you will find your flight. Once you're in the plane, you sit down, you enjoy. And once you arrive, okay, big panic, I don't have my phone that is working. Well, guess what? Most of the airports have Wi-Fi, okay? Or you just go and you will find a taxi driver or a bus. You will find someone that speaks your language, because in the airport you will always find someone that speaks your language, or most of the time, or at least speak English, or at least you will find a way to get understand, because life, you are never doomed and you will not get stuck at the airport. So when you have your suitcase and you're outside, you take the taxi, you go to your hotel, and guess what? You're already in a home, safe home, and you are alive, which is impressive. But It's incredible because in your mind you will have had all those beliefs. Oh my God, I'm gonna get lost. What if my luggage get lost? What if nobody speak my language? But you will see on your own that life always is on your side to help you, and that when you start traveling, you don't really encounter those difficulties, and if you encounter them, you're not stupid, you're actually very smart, and you know how to tackle those things, you know who to talk to, and you will always find a solution. Plus you're so happy, so proud of yourself, because yes, sometimes like there is some challenges, but you are like, okay, you know, there was a challenges, last minute challenge, but I knew how to solve it on my own, and I found a way to solve it on my own. And that's very, very powerful, you know. And so you start to realize that actually all those fear of you're gonna be doomed, you're gonna die, you're gonna lose all your money is just bullshit that is in your mind constantly. And that it just requires you to do the action, go and see your fear, assess your fear, you're aware of your fear, but just go through them. You just go through them and you will see life is not dramatic. And once you're in a country, well, guess what? Okay, you have apps. You have apps that will help you to translate. You have apps that will tell you which restaurant is good. You have apps that tell you, or website that tell you which activity you should do in that country, you know? And while being alone, you have so many possibilities as well to meet other people that travel alone. You go to hostels, or you do some activities, you go to some meetup, you go to some international event, and you are never alone. It's not difficult. If you really start to cry and tell, oh, I'm alone now, it's because you don't take the time to go online and see what are the possibilities. Because the internet is your best friend when you travel, especially when you travel alone. You can find a lot of opportunities where you stay, you can meet and talk to people. And by the way, just have a chat with somebody. I know it can be scary, but 99% of people are kind. I did this with 1,000 people, just approaching them, not without knowing them. And guess what? 99.9% of them were so friendly and happy I talked to them. Maybe 1% were not even 1%, 0.1% were like busy and said like, oh, sorry, I cannot talk right now. But no one were offended when I go talk to them. So I tell you, it will make you feel confident in yourself. You're like, wow, finally, I achieved one of my dreams. I beat my fear. And you will feel like so much gratitude. You will feel sometimes even your life is a movie because you finally allow yourself to go to that adventure and embrace those things. And this is not dramatic. And why is it so valuable? Because when you start doing this, in your mind it comes like, oh my God, so if that fear was an illusion and actually traveling alone is not that bad because I've got internet, because I actually see that it's not difficult and people are always helpful. If that fear was wrong, what other fear I have that limit myself in my daily life, you know? So you will be back home and maybe it's about like changing your job, maybe it's about having more money, maybe it's about moving to a city you always dream of living in, maybe it's about wearing the clothes that you maybe before you would have found provocative or you would have found too weird to wear, but now you understand that those fears are just in your mind. And yeah, you just realize, you start to tackle down those self-belief and you really embrace those changes, embrace those fear. Really, traveling alone is not difficult. You go to the airport, if you have no internet, guess what? You can buy a SIM card. Today with money you can have everything. Okay, and this purpose of the video is not telling you that you cannot travel for cheap, because you can. But the purpose of this video is first to tell you it's possible to travel alone. No problem. It's even possible to travel alone and for cheap. All right, I can give you some tips and tricks when you're alone and you want to travel for cheap. All right, about anticipation when you're in your country first, like looking at the best SIM cards, the best way from the airport to reach the town. From your hometown, you can as well go on booking.com and book the best place at the best price. All those things that I'm doing that allow me to spend a whole month in a country for under 1,000 euros, knowing that roughly per day I will spend like 30 euros. I spend 30 euros per day. So 30, you multiply it by 30 and you get 900. And then the 100, I will say it's for, you know, sometimes transportation or some expensive activity, or sometimes the plane ticket is a bit more expensive than I thought. So it will be 1,000, sometimes 1,200 for a month, euros, everything included. All right, as a backpacker. Okay, so backpackers, you sleep in a place, sometimes you share your room with other people, but then you make friends, then you go in bars, you party. It's amazing. If you're 25, if you're 30, you can book your own accommodation, travel on your own, and meet good people while you do like a hike or go to some internations event. It's so easy, so easy. So you should definitely, because your life is a gift, and traveling alone is not that bad, and it doesn't ask you so much process. It's not like building a business. Traveling alone, you pick the country you want to go at the right time of the year. All right, you book the plane ticket, you pick the right visa, and then it's all about what you want to bring with you in your suitcase. Then you go, and then when you're there, you're in your hotel. You can buy the food you want. You can find, nowadays with globalization, you find the food from your home everywhere. Even me as a French, I found croissant and baguette everywhere in the world. Well, yes, that's life. It's not difficult. And you will be so proud. And you will notice that even alone, you have a lot of excitement and happiness. Actually, it's even sometimes better to travel alone, because when you travel, let's say with someone from your family, they will limit you. Say, oh, I don't like doing this. No, I want us to book only a resort with swimming pool. Well, maybe you wanted to go in the jungle and like see a tiger, but they are not really into this. Well, when you travel alone, you can really make your travel at your own image and doing the things that you like. You know, it's so valuable. And then while traveling, you have the opportunity to meet new people because you're alone, so you are more sociable. And so you will learn about either locals, their culture, if you have local friends, or you will meet people from other country and notice all the things that makes you so much in common with people from other country, from Germany, from England, and also sometimes the differences that make you laugh, you know. It's so nice. So please travel on your own. It's not difficult. And if you need help with that or anything else, my link in the description. I'm a life coach as well, and I'm happy to help you with anything you need. That was Frank for the Mindful Pathway, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.